Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Universal Energies channel on YouTube, where we focus on the inherent worth and dignity of all people and to lessen the suffering in the world and to spread positivity out into the world. We send each of you love and light from our spirit guides to you and your spirit guides as well. And we want to thank you all for joining us. Princess Mocha, Kim Williams, Universal Energies channel. Okay.
And we're just here today to check in, and this isn't a live video, but we just have some talking points that we're just going to discuss and then post our thoughts about it, and then hopefully you guys can engage. Remember to like, comment, and share, but definitely comment just to see how you relate to what we talk about. And to start things off, I have a story for us to read. Well,
Good.
I'll read it to you. But
Okay, good, because I can't read it from here.
and it kind of sets the mood of kind of our talking points for today. This story is called The Town That Never Slept. There was once a town that prided itself on being aware. Every morning, the town square screens lit up with news from everywhere at once. Wars, warnings, scandals, predictions. The people believed if they looked away, even for a moment, something terrible would happen and they would miss it. At first, they said we must stay informed to stay safe. But over time, the people stopped sleeping well, they argued more, they trusted each other less, the healers grew exhausted, the children grew anxious without knowing why. One day, a storm came, not the kind you could see, but the kind that lives in your chest. People panicked, even though the storm never actually reached the town. An elder finally spoke. We have mistaken constant alertness for wisdom. So the town tried something radical. They turned the screens off for 1 hour a day. They gathered, they breathed, they listened to one another instead of alarms, and something strange happened. The town didn't become weaker. They became calmer. They made better decisions. They noticed real dangers more clearly because they weren't overwhelmed by imagined ones. The moral wasn't to ignore the world. It was to face it without letting fear run the mind.
Push it.
Good getting up. Cats. Does anybody want some cats?
I got a couple. Got a couple who just want to be in the middle of everything.
Now, some things about this story that I wrote some notes down. The human nervous system is not designed for constant crisis, and I think all of us here can agree to that, whether you agree to it or not.
Right. This is a fact that if you don't agree with it, you need to agree with it because it's a fact.
Because I'm sure your body has agreed with it for you. Whether it had been headaches or constant fatigue, anxiety, all of it fits. The brain evolved to handle immediate, local threats, not 24/7 global emergencies. Prolonged exposure to fear-based information increases cortisol, which reduces empathy, memory, and critical thinking. And I didn't know that.
And that is called, Bob's in the way, nervous system overload, and it really does do horrible things. And when I was researching that, the nervous system, if you overload it, it does stop critical thinking. And in this process of what's going on in the United States and across the globe, there's so much going on. Okay, every day it's something, and it's something big, and it's something new, and it's usually something scary. that is causing our nervous systems to overreact, to be on point. Like Mocha said, our system is made for emergencies. We have that fight, flight, or freeze trigger. We are ready for immediate action now if we need to. Something's on fire, we're sick, there's an emergency. We can handle that. Our bodies are made to do that. But this constant, non-stop 10 years of just craziness, it's too much for your system. And it is. And so you're totally right. But it's called nervous system overload. And it's a thing. And it stops you from thinking.
Mm-hmm. Too much awareness makes you less wise. Fear-based content spreads faster than calm content. That's a lot of the reasons, why I've calmed down my news posting. I only do the major news. At first, I was doing, the bad headlines.
Right.
But then there was too many bad headlines.
Right.
Then it got way too many bad headlines. It just kept coming. I was like, okay, so I got to siphon through it.
Right.
But we share the ones, I share mainly, the ones that you definitely need to know that's happening. I'm siphoning through everything that they're trying to throw at you, because all that they do are making you less wise, because they know that you're going to read everything that they put out.
Right, and I want to say that too, now that she brought that up, that they're doing this on purpose. What's his name? Steve Bannon said years ago, flood the zone. Flood the zone with shit. Okay, that's exactly what they're doing. So if you can stand back and look at what's going on, they're doing it, and it's working, and it is hard. Like Mocha and I, we keep up with the news, we do whatever. It's a lot to keep up with, and it changes day to day. Like, we have links, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but when you go to YouTube or you go to the news and the independent media sites, check the date. If it was 3 days ago, chances are that doesn't apply anymore. Okay, if it says 3 months ago, don't even watch it. Same with 5 years ago. I'm talking news. I'm not talking health stuff. Like, if you see something on there that helps you lower your blood pressure and it's from 5 years ago, it's probably still good. We're talking about the day-to-day news cycle. Okay, that's what you need to back up from. And like she said, turning that off for an hour, if you can do that, walk away from it, that's great. Check it once or twice a day. And remember, the things that are happening, they're not going to take place tonight. Okay, it's going to be a couple of days. So if you didn't catch it today, there's tomorrow. Now, chances are it might change by tomorrow. Okay, so just relax a little bit. And like Mocha said, get away from the news. Check in. Find out where we're at and how crazy it is.
You want to make sure you have your best mind available to you when the moment presents itself.
Correct.
That's why we continue to say to be prepared, but don't be overwhelmed.
Right. And if you protect yourself now for whatever may come, then you can relax. And you can say, yeah, but it's okay, because if this happens, I got food. If this happens, I know I got gas in my car. Mocha and I have already been talking about, like, I have a disability that makes my life very hard. And Mocha has a disability with diabetes. And we have talked to each other about staying healthy. Like, what advice did your doctor give you? And we share that advice. What are you doing to stay healthy so that we can stay healthy? We're sharing that. Y'all need to check on each other too. Make sure that you're taking care of each other. This whole thing is good in the end. Not right now.
Mm-hmm.
But good
in the end. And that's the point. You have to have the end in mind. Remember, back when I used to read the 7 Habits, one of the habits was begin with the end in mind. Very relevant for today. Don't take a course of action without thinking 3 steps ahead. A lot of people that know me hate when I say I think of like a chess player, even though I don't really know how to play chess. I do know that you have to think 3 steps ahead of your opponent in order to win.
Right.
And same thing with life. Going down the road, you need to predict what these cars are going to about to do around you, or what could happen to keep yourself safe and to keep everyone else around you safe. Because if you're safe, chances are you're going to keep the people that are behind you on the road safe, metaphorically.
Right.
You were gonna say?
I was going to say about, the news of recent of, the woman that got killed, Miss Renee. We have to be careful now. And we have to look around us now. And we have to be aware now. If you're too upset or you're not thinking clearly and you're even driving, okay, and you're not a delivery person or whatever, you could get in a wreck or you could really hurt somebody. You could hurt yourself. Okay, we have to take care of us during this time so that we can survive till the end. Okay, because we're not here dooming. Okay, that we believe this is going to be okay in the end. Okay, this is a transformation. Everybody's having to transform. We're wishing people would do it quicker, but they're not. So we're just waiting for people to catch up. Please know everything's going to be okay. And this change was so needed. I mean, who knew? Who knew it was this bad? There are some that knew. But then most
a lot of you that have followed us have heard us say that it's bad, but Renee's story is just one example that just proves our point and proves why you need to listen to us.
Right.
Because even if you're not a delivery driver, it can show up on your doorstep. There was a lady, did you hear about the story of the lady who ordered DoorDash? And the minute that the DoorDash driver dropped the food off, ICE pulled up trying to get the driver, and she took shelter inside the person's house.
Yes, but I have to tell you something I found out legally. Okay, say that happened right now, and me and Mocha are in here, and we order DoorDash, and the DoorDash driver comes in, and ICE is coming to get them. I cannot say, come here, you'll be safe in here. Okay, I can't say that. I cannot ask her to come in. I cannot bang on a window and say, come here. I can't do that. But if that person ends up in your house, they can be there. Okay? But you can't say, come here. Okay? But you maybe could open the door and walk away. Mm-hmm. Okay? But this is a conversation that I want more people to have so that your neighbors around you know your door's open. Okay? They can come in. Okay? But that you can't call them in. If you call them in, you're part of a crime at that point, which is ridiculous, but okay. So let them come in, but don't invite them in. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And that's just me covering your butt. Mm-hmm. Okay, because that's stuff we learned. And remember, the news, the CBS, ABC, NBC that I grew up with, not a thing anymore. They're all Fox News. They're all just bullshit. They just are telling you what they want to tell you. If it's true or not, they don't care. Okay? So I'm sticking with independent media. I'm staying focused on this stuff here. And then I'm pulling information from there so that I can let you guys know. So that we're all safe together. Okay? Because who knows? We need to know these laws. And remember, I'm not a trained lawyer. I was a trained accountant. Okay, not a lawyer. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I know more now about the law than I have my whole life in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. I feel like I could actually go into court and know something. I'd know where to sit.
Well, I found out you don't even have to have a law degree to be a judge. I was like, so I'd make a better judge than a lawyer because I would fail every test. I'm not a good test taker.
I didn't know that. I sure hope that's not true. And in our new world that we're creating, no.
Well, especially...
I want the best of the best in charge.
That's how all of these TV... John Legend's wife, no way she went to law school to be a judge. TV reality judges, They definitely didn't have a law, but apparently they can with some civil cases.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope
Ain't
not.
that weird?
In our new world, no. I want the best of the best in the law. I want the best of the best in the doctors. And I don't care what color you are, what nationality you are, or what religion you have. I don't care about any of those things. What I care is, are you the best of what you do? Just like Mocha. Mocha has very severe diabetes. The only doctors that I want dealing with Mocha are the people who know what they're doing. Okay? Preach. I don't care if you're just a nice guy. I don't care. If you're not a trained medical diabetic doctor, I don't want you anywhere near Mocha. Okay? So JFK, bye. You're not allowed to say nothing to Mocha. Okay? Because you're an idiot and you'll get her killed. Okay? So no. We're gonna stick with people who know what the fuck they're talking about. And by the way, in this new world of ours, I want you to know, every time somebody says the F word, of which I just did, my mother rolls over in her grave. Okay, my mother hated that word so much. If she was here and saw people saying it on TV like they are on the news and all that, the F word, she'd go around just slapping people. And boy, let me tell you, my mother would have put an end to Trump, just letting you know. She would have popped his mouth. My mother was 6'2", had very long red fingernails, and she would slap you from another room. Okay, so I don't know what parents he had. He didn't. He went to boarding school. He had no parents, which you can see. He had genetics.
How would you describe awareness versus hypervigilance?
Just like I was telling you guys, which is very hard. Now remember, my example to you guys, and I have been so in the news, like in this politics thing for the last 2.5 years, like really hardcore in it. And I find that if you're doing it for a reason, okay, like I really want to understand what they're doing. I want to know what's going on. And I saw trouble years ago. Mocha and I talked about it years ago. And people were like, y'all are like stupid. Why are you worried about that? I'm like, no, this is looking like it's going in a wrong direction. What was I saying?
We're talking about awareness versus hypervigilance.
If you're doing it for a reason, then you're learning as you're growing. If you're just doom scrolling to just hit that, like I'm watching hour-long, 2-hour-long political debates, political things, okay, with purpose. But I'm not doom scrolling. Oh, somebody else was shot. Oh, something else happened. Oh, something else happened. That right there is going to cause that overload. Okay? Oh, bless you. Good Lord.
That was like 5 sneezes.
That was quite
Excuse
a lot. Oh, congratulations on all those sneezes all at the same time.
Ooh.
You better not be sick.
That's crazy.
That was crazy.
We've had some weird stuff happening. Even before, like, we were sitting here talking, my phone kept automatically going on record.
Starting to record. And it's way over here. We're way over here. We don't have a clicky button.
And then we waited for it to do it again.
We said, okay, we'll just wait.
And it took the video down and started my keyboard, and it was like typing.
I was ready for it to type something.
I never typed nothing, but it was going to type. It pulled up the keyboard sideways like it was going to type, and I was waiting.
Now, in the woo-woo part, we do believe in that stuff, so we did pause, and we're like, do you guys need to say something? Because we do believe in that. We do. The overload part. What was I talking about, Mocha?
Well, one thing I wrote was staying informed is different from living in fight or flight.
That's what I was saying.
Many
Right.
people are confusing constant alertness with responsibility.
Correct. And what you have to remember is you can check on things. Like if you're not in a political brain set, okay, you're allowed to check on things. And then what we want to give to you as light workers is this is going to be okay. Okay, we are going to come out better in the end. Right now it's hard. So we're going through this together and we will come out in the end. There is a reason for all of this, even though I don't know. Okay. Even though it looks so terrible. Right.
We all got all the news coming in.
Right. But you have to limit what you do. Like I said, a way to limit all this, because it is coming every day. It is
like we just see all this, another headline.
Right.
Boom.
And you saw it. We ignored it. Okay, we couldn't read it from here. Our eyes suck. So we saw that it said news break, but we'll get to it. Nothing I need to know right now.
You need to read it, and then we need you to be aware and awake enough to come to your own judgment about what you're reading.
Right. And to remember that we are all very emotional, like I was talking to Mocha before we started the video. I cried off and on all morning over different things. And I know it's going to be okay. And I know we need this change. And I see what we're doing here. And I still lost it this morning. I was so sad, and it was so much. And we have to know that you're allowed to check in, but you have to check out. Okay? And don't think, but if I'm not paying attention, I'm not doing my part. You are doing your part. And Mocha and I are here to tell you what, and I'm not going to change this opinion. Survival is our resistance. Okay? I want you mentally strong. I want you physically strong. I want you strong. It's okay. We just have to be resilient as things move forward. But we are not here dooming. I'm not dooming. Are there shitty things going on? Absolutely, Mocha, horrible things. But we can handle this. But we have to handle ourselves. And this whole beginning part has been on observing, but don't absorbing. Don't take it in. If it gets to be too much, turn it off. Walk away. Take a walk. Do some of those things we talked about, and we'll be talking about more in future videos. Grounding yourself, taking a walk, taking a hot bath, eating some cinnamon rolls, eating cookies. And you should see, like, I'm a big girl and should not be eating crap. During all of this time, I want you to know on that table over there, I've got Rice Krispie treats, I've got cookies, I've got chocolate, peanut butter cookies. I'm here to make myself happy. Okay? And if a cinnamon roll is going to make you happy, go for it. Okay? Do what you can during these difficult times to make yourself happy. Now, I know that sounded like a lot, but I got the crispy things from the food pantry because I'm using the food pantry. Y'all need to look into doing that in your cities. The cinnamon rolls was several days of a breakfast. The cookies was presents. And then the chocolate cookies, they only cost $1. So I was allowed to get those. It looked like a lot of money, but it wasn't.
When we absorb tragedy, she was talking about absorb. It's kind of weird. My next thing says, when we absorb tragedy all day long, our bodies react as if we're personally in danger. And, like I said, cortisol rises, intuition lowers. Empathy becomes exhaustion. And I love that last part. Empathy becomes exhaustion. At the end of our talking points, I have 2 more stories about frequency that I want to end on. Because our next subject, I'll start with a story about frequency. Because frequency relates into any topic that we have planned.
It is.
So choosing when to engage is almost like trying to pick the best time to pitch or to hit a baseball. You have to learn timing, and conscious people learn timing. You don't need to know everything the second it happens in order to care about it. Permission to rest.
This is why nothing gets done at my house.
Rest is not disengagement, it's integration. Nothing grows without stillness. And that's why she said it's very important to rest. It's very important that our bodies are able to have a clear mind. You know, sometimes it's not the best of us to make the right decisions when we're angry, because you're making a decision based out of that anger
Correct.
that you're holding on to.
Correct. Correct.
So,
And it'll keep carrying.
along with that, there's another emotion that we experience, and that's fear. And that can be weaponized. And that's our next talking point.
Right. And that is what's happening now. And y'all need to be aware of that. They're using fear as a weapon. Okay, like they're not even, like we are here in South Carolina. Our governor is Lindsey Graham. He's best friends with Trump. So they're not doing anything to South Carolina right now. Okay? And Nancy Mace, okay, I can't believe these people belong to South Carolina. Okay, but they do. So we're not seeing it here. Like when you drive around, you would think it was last year. Like it's...
While you're talking about Nancy Mace and them, remember to vote because time's coming up. Remember you're registered. I did a short little video. You need to watch that video.
Vote.org.
Yep.
Vote.org.
Make sure you're still registered.
Make sure you're registered.
Make sure you vote.
And put your right name in. I put Kim Williams in, and it said, "You're not registered." And I freaked out because yes, I am. And because I am you know how they say I'm a 3-time Trump voter? I'm a 3-time non-Trump voter. That would be me. So I know I'm registered to vote because I've done it every time.
And we're not one or the other. We're not Republican or Democrat. We're not either one. We're all the issue. But we vote for the lesser of the two evils.
Correct.
And that's the important thing, because Nancy Mace, Lindsey Graham, they like to use fear as a weapon.
They do. And they keep doing it, and they're going to continue to do it. And that's what's happening in Minnesota. That's what this is. It's all fear.
Kim's going to tell you, she came in and shared how her day was today, of how her body reacted and her emotions reacted to all of this fear that's being pressed out. And that it's the weapon hit the target, basically.
And I flipped off a car today.
Oh, God.
I did. And I didn't care. And that was terrible. And I'm like, Kim, you got to control that.
But it even messed with your breathing. Because, like, when you were even telling me about it,
I did. And I couldn't quit crying. And I did. Just because there's so much, and that's what we're here to talk about. That's why we're doing a long video. That's why we're casually just talking to you here. We want you to be calm, and we're not coming from a place of you need to do better. Okay, if you can see, okay, Mocha looks sleepy, I look sleepy. Okay, we don't look 100%. We're not. We're doing the best we can. Okay, we're here to tell you guys, do the best you can, but remember, it is going to be okay. And before we're done with our video, I'm going to do some little positive quips after Mocha does her thing and whatever. And then we also need to talk about, what was I going to say? I want to flip a tarot card as well for all of us, for the community as a whole, and see what the card says to us on where to guide. Okay, it's a great way to focus attention. So we'll just flip one card at the end. We'll read about that card, and then you can take the information into yourself and apply it to you however it applies to you. Okay, because we're all independent individuals. But that's what we're going to do today. Okay, keep going.
And so the first thing about them weaponizing fear that I write down is fear isn't accidental, it's effective. And when fear is loud, clarity is quiet. You don't think straight when you're afraid. When something is coming at you that's scary and you are afraid and you don't know how to handle it, you're not in the right mind. Clarity is not there.
Right. And that's true too. If you pay attention, if you've ever been really freaked out, like I myself have done this in the last couple of months. I've thought in a certain way, and then time went by, like a day or maybe hours or whatever went by, and I was calmer, and all of a sudden it came to my head. And I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I do that? Okay, you didn't do that because your brain was full of mess. That's what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your brain clear. Keep calm. You cannot make any good decisions if you're upset. If you're upset and you're driving, pull over. Take a couple deep breaths. And that in through your nose, out through your mouth, it really works. It really works. Because I'm having a problem at stoplights. They seem to be really pissing me off. So I'm doing my breathing at the stoplights.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to calm myself down at stoplights.
That is a good tactic.
And so it does. And you have time.
Scared or angry, breathing really helps with that. Just calming yourself down. Fear narrows perception. Fear limits imagination, critical thinking, and compassion. And those are three big things that we experience throughout our daily lives, whether you know it or not. Imagination, critical thinking, and hopefully compassion. I mean, that is our main
hopefully
goal.
Critical thinking, for Christ's sake.
Yes, but I would take compassion before critical. Obviously, we need critical thinking.
We need that. That's lost in today's world.
The next thing says a scared population is easier to divide, control, and exhaust.
Which is exactly what's happening right now. Politically. If you look at the game, okay, back up a little bit and just look at it. They're pushing all of this. They're trying to freak you out. They're trying to make you afraid. They're trying to divide. And what I think is great is we're not being divided. I think it's beautiful, okay? We're not, because we're protecting our neighbors regardless of what color they are. We're going into the line of fire regardless. Okay, we are Americans and we're fighting for Americans. And Americans are all kinds of colors and all kinds of religions. And that's what's great about America. Now, if you are a white supremacist, it isn't working for you. Okay, so that's what we're up against. And that's what everybody in the political sense, you need to... Yes, there's political stuff going on. But above that, there's a white supremacy thing going on. Okay, that's what's happening. Okay, well, that needs to stop. Okay, that needs to stop. So that's, yeah.
And I even did a little test experiment. I made a brand new account on most major, there's a lot of social media out there, but I did Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, the three main ones. Media and algorithm amplification is my next topic. And that was what the test was based off of. All of my new accounts only saw everything ad-wise, post-wise, that was pushing that hateful narrative that Trump has. Now, I'm not going to say Republican, because like I said, we're not Democrat or Republican, but Trump's narrative of what he's doing was all over the algorithm. Outrage and fear spread faster than nuisance. And that's every video that Trump, he leads on outrage about something, and then fear put onto us by something else that he talks about.
Right.
That doesn't mean the threat isn't real. It just means the delivery is often distorted.
Right.
So that's why I repost some of the stuff that I see on the news, because if you only follow me and you don't follow anybody else, your algorithm is going to show you everything else that's pushing his narrative. Everyone that gives the rich billionaires money, that's going to get pushed on those ads. I never saw anything about Renee Good. I never saw anything about tariffs. I never saw anything about Venezuela. I never saw anything about anything other than it was the Democrats' fault. 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 Democrats' fault.
Everything. And they're not talking about what's real, which is why we talked about make sure you realize that the news that like I grew up with, and I realize that I'm Generation X. I mean, I realize that now. I didn't a couple of years ago. I grew up on ABC, NBC, all of those, okay? And they were fact, like Walter Cronkite and Barbara, what's her name? Barbara She was a serious reporter back in the day. They were like serious people. These people now are not, and it's done for a different purpose. It's done to scare you. They only tell you part of stuff and not the other part. Like the thing about the Somali people in wherever. Kim, is there a fraud? Yeah, years ago. It's already in the court system and people have already gone to jail for this. Like they're just bringing up stuff to make people mad and make people afraid. Yes, there were criminals. She happened to be a white lady though, just saying.
Some things are designed to emotionally manipulate.
Correct, and that's what they're doing. Okay, that's exactly what they're doing. It was a fraud case. They're trying to say Waltz isn't doing anything about it. He already did it. Okay, they're already in the court system. They've already busted him. This kid going around to daycares, I was a preschool teacher for 15 years. Daycare, me, 15 years. I know those who know me would be like, what? Yes, 15 years as a preschool teacher. You can't get in. You cannot get into the children if we're open or not. Now, if we were closed, you can't get in because we're closed. He went to several places that were closed at night. Okay, saying, look, there's no kids here. No, we went home at night. As a matter of fact, we get pissed off if you weren't there in time to pick up your kid. Okay? Come get your kid. I want to go home. Come get your kid. And, like, the company that I worked for, the last one was La Petite. Well, no. But I did work for La Petite, but it wasn't the last one. Children's Care Center was the last one. La Petite, you could get in the front door into the office part, but in order to get through the next door, you had to have a code. Okay, if you were a parent, you could come in because you'd have a code. But if you were just somebody off the street, you're not coming in. You're not getting near these kids. So everybody got emotionally upset over kids being, we're ripping off your money. Bob your butt. We're ripping off your money for kids that don't exist. And all they did, that was an emotional garbage. Now, what did I do? I know, because I'm a daycare teacher, that they couldn't get in. Okay? And daycares, unless you're a nighttime daycare, there's very few of those, you're not going to be open at night. So if you go to a daycare after 6 o'clock at night, you're not going to find anybody there. But just like Mocha said, they only told you enough information to get you upset so that you would stay mad about a topic that wasn't a topic. It's just like, and I know this is off topic, trans kids getting trans surgery in school, Mocha. How many hundreds and hundreds of people have I spoken to in the last 20 years about getting surgery for their transness and had the hardest time doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was absolutely the hardest thing to get trans surgery.
That story is like my next point is, when you look at a story, you need to ask yourself, is it designed to inform or inflame you? And that type of story is designed to inflame.
And those two questions you need to ask. Perfect. I love your mouth. Inform or inflame. That's what you need to ask in any way. And remember, we are not Democrats or Republicans, okay? I'm noticing Democrats did it too during the last couple of years. They only tell you, and then you have to listen now. Now I know. I'm like, no, you're doing the same shit right there. You guys are doing the same shit. And we want a new government. Okay, this is horrible. The change is always horrible. I hate change.
We could even ask, Is this going to leave me empowered or helpless?
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like those two. I like those things. We're going to bring that up again. Yeah.
So, power returns when you slow down, breathe, and respond instead of react.
These are good, Mocha. These are good, Mocha.
And that brings us to our third topic. We're almost done. We only have 2 topics left, and then I have 2 stories. Third topic, love and light is not passive, is strategic. The core, true love and light require presence, discipline, and courage, not avoidance.
Correct. But love and light is hard, but I do it on the regular, and those people who are aware of me or whatever know that I'm a nerd. And I do weird, freaky things. Now that I'm stopping at stoplights, trying not to kill people at stoplights, and taking my deep breaths and whatnot, I also use that moment to push love and light out into the world. And I know you're like, Kim, you do what? I say in my car, and I look at all the cars around me. I'm sorry about my cat. It has a skin problem. That I wish for all of them love and light. I wish for them to find peace in what they're doing. And I send that out there to all of the cars around me. And I'm a delivery driver, so I'm always around a lot of cars and traffic. I could be on 85 going north towards Pelham Road, and there are billions of cars. Okay, and I take that moment and I say, I wish all of you peace and great love. Mm-hmm. Do that. It does good things. And you think, man, I'm going to look stupid in the car.
I do that for safety. I do that just for safety because we see how stupid people drive every day. I do it mainly for safety, and that in itself goes back to that video I shared about frequency, which helps. So you put that love frequency out, you are manifesting that to happen. And you are sending out safety or love into the universe, and that's going to multiply.
And it is multiplying. And I do see change. And I know people are like, Kim, you're crazy. What are you talking about? The world's on fire. Yes, but I'm noticing good things. And I notice when I address people, like she said, you have to consciously do it. You have to think about it. It's an active process. It's not just like breathing. It's breathing on purpose. When I go into a restaurant, I'm on purpose looking in their face and making sure they see me smile with my broken yellow teeth. Okay, I don't care. I'm here to show you that I'm happy, that I'm okay, and that I'm safe, and that I love and respect you, and that I wish for you a wonderful day. Today, I went out of a restaurant, and there was a Spanish-speaking woman there, and she was a DoorDash driver too. And when I was telling her to be safe, she saw how upset I was, and that I just started almost crying because the thought of something bad happening to her. Make sure you're looking people in the face so they know what you're intending. When you put love and light out there, when you're loving people, when you're caring about people, make sure that you're really putting effort into it. That's what makes the difference.
Well, even in that example, you getting emotional, how many of you watching get emotional or get angry, get sad, mad, even happy that you laugh so much that it takes your breath away and you stop breathing? Even that, you can tell it's physically affecting your body. Anything that can make you stop breathing in your normal pattern is affecting you.
Right. And you need to know this. You need to know, and you need to be actively, like right now we're on a mission. We are light workers. We are here to spread love into the world. Our job has been hard over the last year, and Mocha's gotten sick, and I've gotten sick. I've watched some of our spirit guides on here. They're getting sick off and on. It's hard to carry it. Totally blessed to carry, though. It is heavy. Just remember, the reason why it's heavy is because we're doing good. And so keep pushing it out there, but just like Mocha said, intend to take a breath and separate, put love and light out there into the world, take care of you, and take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth.
Ignoring the pain doesn't heal it. Witnessing pain without becoming it is the work.
Yeah, that's super hard. We're watching the most horrible, and I was thinking that when I was on my way over here. Back in the day, and I'm such a sensitive person. I'm extremely sensitive, and we know this. This has been tested over time. I don't like scary movies. I don't like scary anything because it freaks me out. And years ago, Mocha used to play with it. She used to think that was funny as hell to scare Kim because Kim will get scared. But that was during a normal world. Even me couldn't pretend that the shit Mocha wanted to watch on TV was just a movie. Okay, to my brain, it wasn't. The guy cut the guy's head off. Okay, that's what happened. And Mocha'd be laughing, going, Kim, it's a movie. And I'm like, not to my head. To my head, that just, you cut his head off. Okay, and now I'm going to have to see that for the rest of my life. But of the last month or so, we're watching people get killed on TV. Mm-hmm. And it isn't a movie. Mm-mm. It's for real. My system
now,
can't handle it. Now, it is a stage. It is a stage. It's his stage. However,
but it's not a movie.
Mocha was sending
it's
me
in real time.
Right. There was some things. Now, I have to be careful about what we say, but there's a thing going across the ocean of a country within a country. And Mocha was sending me pictures often. And one day she sent me a picture that was so horribly inhumane. I told her, Mocha, you can't send me pictures no more. I can't because when I see it, I'm having a physical reaction to it. I'm not used to seeing death like this, and I physically can't see it. And then Renee, and then more, and then we're seeing the pepper guns. And like when I came in the house, Mocha's TV was facing towards the door, and I'm watching bombs go off on this thing. And I'm like, I'm so glad we don't have to do the video right away because I need a minute to freak out. Like, whoa, this is so ugly and this is so awful. Okay, just know we are not talking out our butts that this is not awful. Y'all are over dramatizing this. No. The reason why we're doing these videos is because it is very real and it is having a physical effect. And we're aware, like, it's affecting us too, okay? So in order for us as light workers to continue our work and to help the world to heal, we have to keep going. Well, like Mocha said, if you burn out and you can't, you're not going to be able to do anything. And you're not going to not be critically thinking. You're going to make judges, like she said, emotionally. You're going to do things from a reactive point of view instead of an understanding point of view. We need to have compassion for ourselves right now and understand that this whole situation, the news situation, what's going on in the world situation, it is causing physical problems. Mm-hmm. And you have to accept that. Or to say, man, I felt so bad for the last week.
Have you felt tired?
Right.
Have you felt
emotional? Annoyed.
Irritable?
Cry all the time?
Disconnected? Any of those. You're not alone.
Right. No, you're not alone. And I think you were weird if you weren't. Now remember, there is a side of our population, and it is very hard for me. Because I am one of those old school people that believes that there's good in all people. What we need to understand now is that there are some people who don't want to be good and who have no intention of being good, and they don't want to change for the better of all people. They don't believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all people. They only believe in the inherent worth and dignity of some people. Okay, we need to grapple with that. and understand that. We're not going to change everyone. Peace, love, rock and roll is not going to work for everyone. But for those that the majority of the world wants peace and love. And so we're going to keep going forward. But it is tough. But we're here to help you to get to the other side. That's what we're here for. That's the purpose of all of this.
And our last topic that leads into this is if you're feeling tired, emotional, irritable, it's not a personal failure. It's collective overload.
Right.
And that's our last topic.
Right. Right. Too much. And
collective trauma response is what we're going through.
Right. Right. And justifiably so. Like we've said with the Rainbow Support Group, the first thing with any problem you have is to recognize that it's a problem. Okay, and to say, I validate that this is a problem. It could be wrong, it could be misinterpreted, it could be whatever, but the first thing is to recognize that it is a thing. That's what we're doing now. Recognize your lack of sleep or oversleep, your less food or more food, your depression, your crying, your what, justified. Absolutely justified. So just like Mocha said, when you think you're a loser or you're judging yourself because I just couldn't go to work today, I just couldn't clear my head, or I just cried all morning. Okay. During these times, okay, do you, because you need to survive to get to the other side. So do what it takes to take care of yourself using critical thinking, limiting how much negativity is coming at you. Realize you do need to stay in touch, but not in touch. Like I saw something on one of the YouTube channels and I thought, oh shit. And then I went and I'm like, wait a minute. And remember, YouTube, if something happens and I run to my phone and I post it, okay, and then I tape a video and then I post it, time has gone by. Okay, so when I'm looking at somebody's video, it was done 30 minutes ago, an hour ago, this morning, okay, whatever. It gives me time. So I have, and we have links listed in our description page on the main page on YouTube of sources that we trust. What I do is I wait for it to hit there. Like, it could be from, and I'll look down at, like, what's the website this is coming from? I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I don't even get upset about it or whatever until it comes through on somebody that I trust. If they're talking about it, then I know it's legit. Okay, if they haven't mentioned it, I'm not going to pay attention to that. Okay, you need to be calm enough to critically think about things without the emotionalness of it.
And the body keeps score of everything like that. My next thing says wars, political instability, financial stress, climate anxiety. Even if we don't consciously track it, the body keeps score of it. When the nervous system is overwhelmed, it defaults to protection, numbness, withdrawal, irritation. People don't need more discipline, they need safety signals. And that's the new term that we're going to refer to when we talk about
Pardon me.
Drinking water intentionally, like taking a drink of water when you first wake up, or you're feeling hot, fatigued, take a drink of water, step outside, stretch, place a hand on your heart. All of these actions can re-regulate your nervous system. We're going to call those safety signals. Do one of your safety signals if you need to, because it is important. Breathing might sound, oh yeah, I breathe every day. I breathe without even having to think about it. No, that just shows how far behind you are. Breathing can help just be one of the baby steps to help you calm down in a nervous situation, but it can also help you think clearly. It can help your body re-regulate the nervous system, like the organs in it. Mm-hmm. Drinking water can wake up your organs when you wake up in the morning. That's a lot of people jump straight to Red Bulls or energy
Coffee.
drinks or even me, coffee. But I always have water first to get through the organs. You know, we talked about grounding in the past. All of these things are going to help you think on a 5-dimensional level versus this 3D dimensional.
Right. We haven't even gotten to those videos yet to where we keep using these code words from the spirit guides. And I know that you guys aren't really there yet, but 3D is where we are. That's the reality in the real world, okay? You're paying your rent, you're writing your check, you're doing your shit, okay? That's the 3D. The 4D is when you are like in your life and dealing with people and kind of relating. 4D, your 5D is we're beyond it. Like peace, love, rock and roll. Okay, my speaking to you is on a love and light level, not a body level. Like the 5th dimension, it's to where this part of me doesn't matter. Okay, so my whiteness, my oldness, my fatness, none of that matters. Okay, it's my soul and your soul. Okay, that's that. That's what we're doing now as a society. We're evolving, and you can see it in the shift of people. I've seen it in myself, and I'm a pretty peace, love, rock and roll person. Always have been, but I see that I've been a pretty shitty person sometimes too. So,
and when you are like, not just like you specifically, but even you watching, when you're a shitty person or you are angry or sad or happy, you're sending that frequency out. So when you take care of yourself, you are realigning your frequency.
Right, don't be guilty. I took a bath. I didn't do such and such. I did this instead. Okay, don't fault yourself for taking care of yourself. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Well, we've always said put your health number one, and that is we'll continue to say that throughout this process.
But like Mocha said earlier, though, your body will yank you if you don't. Like, you can keep going if you want and not focus on trying to maintain your calmness or whatever. It's going to tear up your stomach. It's going to tear up your skin. It's going to tear up your nerves. It's going to hurt you, okay, in the long run. You don't want that, okay? You want to have a healthy, good body that can handle what comes at you. In order to do that, you have to stay to your center. And I did this and I thought about it. If you find it spiritually, religiously, however you do this stuff is totally okay, because we're all individuals and we will get to the 5D in our own way. We're just here as guides to help people. I think some of the reason, like I asked, like, why did the universe ask me to help? Like, what is that about? I'm such an imperfect person. And the answer was, because you're them. You're them. You can help them. I'm not perfect. I'm not. I cried all morning. I came in the door crying to Mocha because I was so upset. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not saying I have all of the answers. What I'm saying is the answers that I do have, this will be okay. This change needed to happen. We're all evolving into another dimension. All of that is good. It's still difficult. It's still a process. It's still hard to watch all of this horror happen. Okay? It doesn't mean that it isn't horrible. It definitely needed to change.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely needed to change because I did not realize how shitty America was. Like, I didn't. And stupid or taught wrong or whatever. But we needed to change. So I'm excited about the change to come, and I need to get everybody else excited, but I do know that it's very hard right now. And we're going to give you some skills on how to separate that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely drop in the comments stuff you want, or maybe you need skills on, or maybe you just have topics you might want us to discuss.
Right.
The last two things I have is just stories that I wanted to share that go based off of frequency, which, like we had talked about, is our everyday life. Everything around you is based off of frequency. Frequency can also affect those things around you. So when you're angry or you're happy, you're affecting things around you. I did a video of a study of they took a water droplet, put it under the microscope, and put some crystallizing lab experiment inside the water droplet to manipulate it. They looked at it and they thought about all their happy thoughts, put it under the microscope. They did another one. They thought angry thoughts. Any anger that they could think of, they projected to that water droplet. Same thing with other emotions. Each one had a different effect and looked different when it was done. The same the same experiment was repeated, and the patterns were similar with each emotion. They were different, but they were similar. So the two anger droplets, they were different, but they had a similar pattern. But each emotion looked completely different. And all that was done with just a simple thought.
And think about all the negative thoughts that are coming to us.
And we're 80% water.
And it's all hitting us. It's all hitting us. So if you think, I'm that water, and all of this bad stuff is coming. And remember, this bad stuff is also coming with bad intent. Now that goes into the spiritual realm and the frequency of everything. These people are doing bad things with bad intent to do bad things. So that is like huge negative vibe. Okay, so that frequency coming at us, turn your TV off. Watch a bunch of cats. I have a friend named Dre, and he sends me cat videos because he knows that I have cats and cats annoy me and they make me happy. So I watch cat videos. Watch cat videos instead of the bad. Remember, these frequency things she's talking about is for real. And it actually does. Remember, we react. We're the water. Okay? If it's negative coming at you, you're going to get angry. And you've done that yourself. I know you have an example in your life that, like, you were in one mood. You went around a friend. Your friend was either really mad or sad or whatever. And all of a sudden you're sad. Or you're mad, and you leave, and you're all pissed off, and you're like, God, I'm so mad. And you're like, why are you mad? It's like, oh, I'm not mad. You were mad. You were mad, and it came to me, and it caused me to be mad. Same thing. Same thing. If you're feeling some sort of way, think about it. Did something I just experienced, hear, see, cause my water self to react in a certain way? I agree with this frequency thing. I think it makes so much sense. Like, why do we feel so sad when we watch all the news and everything? Because we're picking that frequency up. Okay? Like, the first thing I thought of when Renee got shot was of her wife. And I sent her the biggest hug I could send her mentally, period, because she just saw her wife get killed and had to run behind the car. Because remember, when she got shot, her foot pushed on that and it took the car away. The wife was already trying to get in the car when that happened. So she's chasing after the wife. I sent her so much frequency of love to that woman to hold her during that horrible, horrible thing that we watched on TV, Mocha. Like, we used to not be able to see shit like that. And there was a time, I know the younger people are going to think this is crazy. There were certain shows that couldn't be on until after bedtime. Like after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, then those shows would come on because the kids might see it. Okay, this shit they're showing on TV now is at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So all the kids are seeing it too. Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. We have to put love and light there to all the kids that saw that or seeing it and hearing it. And remember, they're not old like us. They can't process this shit. What must it be like to be a 6-year-old kid watching this? You know, frequency is everything. Limit your TV. If you got kids in your house, you know, remember frequency. Remember, they are hearing things. They are picking up things. Turn the TV off until they're outside. Put your headset in if you've got to listen to it. Keep the negativity as much away from those that don't need. If you have someone sick in your house, don't let them sit there staring at TV, being all negative. Let them watch cats. Watch cats.
All right, picture the same building on the same floor. There were 2 different rooms. They were identical in size. They have the same windows, the same lighting, the same temperature. The only difference was what happened inside them. Room number 1. In the first room, the people argued often. Voices were sharp, movements were fast, shoulders were tense. Nothing violent happened, but nothing settled either. Over time, people noticed headaches appeared more often, conversations escalated quickly, creativity stalled, people avoided staying longer than necessary. Even newcomers who didn't know the history said the same thing. Something feels off in here. In the second room, people spoke more slowly. They listened without interrupting. They laughed easily. There were disagreements, but those disagreements didn't spiral. Over time, people stayed longer without noticing the time. Ideas flowed more freely. Conflicts resolved faster. And the newcomers that they let in the room said, "I feel calmer just being in this space." What changed? Not the walls, not the air, not the people's intelligence. The emotional state, the tone, the frequency was the only difference.
We heard that at rainbow meetings.
And that proves that it's not mystical, it's a measurable influence. All right, now the last story I have before we do
Which is true, by
thoughts.
the way, and just as an example for what she was just talking about. I've literally seen that happen to people over the last 20 years, off and on through our support group meetings. People will come, they either high anxiety, didn't want to come, real nervous about coming, then came, and then they were like, great, because the environment was so open and accepting. Like, we just want you to get here. We don't care how you dressed. We don't care. We just want you to come. Just come. So knowing that, they were open to come like that. And I've seen people come bent and twisted and then leave a support group meeting in a whole different vibe because of the frequency within the meeting, with what we were doing or who we were with or the people. It's a whole frequency thing. It is. Y'all got to pay attention.
All right, now this one's a little bit longer, but stay with me.
Okay, we're ready.
The building that taught itself. The building stood in the middle of the city for decades. Same concrete, same wiring, same air system. No one thought much of it until patterns began to repeat. On the 3rd floor were 2 departments, separated by nothing more than a hallway. Same pay, same workload, same deadlines. Yet people treated them entirely different. The first side of the hall, on the east side, the air felt tight the moment you stepped in it. Conversations were clipped, People spoke over one another without noticing. Emails were read with suspicion before intention. No one could ever say exactly why things felt tense. There was no single event, no dramatic incident, just a slow accumulation. People held their breath without realizing it. Jaws clenched, shoulders rose. New hires lasted weeks, sometimes days. They'd say things like, "I don't know what it is, I just feel drained here." Mistakes happened often, not because people weren't smart, but because fear shortened attention spans. Creativity disappeared. Every problem felt urgent. Every conversation felt like a threat. And once that tone set in, it fed itself. Stress created mistakes. Mistakes created blame. Blame created more stress. The frequency locked in. The second side of the hall, on the west side, something different lived in those walls. People disagreed here too. Deadlines still existed, but voices lowered instead of rising. Silence wasn't punished, it was used. People made eye contact. They laughed, not constantly, but genuinely. When conflict appeared, it didn't linger. New hires noticed immediately. "I feel like I can breathe in here," they said. Ideas moved faster, problems solved themselves more easily. People stayed late, not out of fear, but out of flow. Nothing supernatural was happening, but something very real was. Management, confused by the contrast, brought in consultants. They changed policies, rearranged the desks, adjusted the lighting, and nothing changed. Finally, a behavioral scientist was invited, not to fix productivity, but to observe. She noticed the small things. She noticed the tone before content. She noticed the body language before words were said. She noticed pace before decisions. She measured the heart rates during meetings, cortisol levels from stress samples, speech cadence, and even room noise patterns. Her conclusion was simple. These teams are operating at different emotional frequencies. What she explained: fear compresses time, people rush, they react, they assume. Calm expands perception. People notice, they listen, they adapt. In the East Wing, chronic stress had trained nervous systems into survival mode. The environment reinforced it daily. In the West Wing, emotional regulation had become contagious. One grounded person influenced another, then another. The room learned. The scientist didn't fire anyone. She didn't add rules. She introduced slower meeting starts, intentional pauses, a grew where calm was modeled, not demanded. Within weeks, heart rates dropped, errors decreased, trust grew, and the frequency shifted. The moral of the story is the frequency is not a belief. It's a state that systems respond to. Fear-based frequency contracts minds and spaces. Regulated, compassionate frequency expands them. And it doesn't require perfection, only awareness.
Right. And that'll shift everything, though. Your awareness in everything will allow you time to concentrate on your frequency. Now, I know to a lot of you, this stuff is new concepts. You guys are like, you're being so woo-woo, you're being so freaky. And yeah, it's time for a shift and a change. And light workers are going to be okay now. I remember back in the day, to read tarot cards, to think about any of that, they would say you were crazy or whatever. That's all shifting now, okay? People have stopped doing that stuff now. And now it's just opening your mind to another viewpoint is all. I think that's a beautiful thing, though, by the way. Do you want to do the card?
No. My last thing before you read the card.
Okay.
Was a quote, and it says, "Every room is learning from us. The question is, what are we teaching it?" And I love that quote. That's my new one. You know, my last one was, "Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do." But now it's, every room is learning from us. The question is, what are we teaching it?
Wow.
And so, I think now that would be a good segue into what the tarot card is going to tell us.
Now, hand me the bag over there and that book as well. The Tarot Bible book. All right.
I'm done with that.
Can I have that book that's right behind Bob? And I took a picture of Bob while y'all saw me sitting there messing with the phone. Watching Bob sleep next to Mocha. Like, turn the camera. Can they see? No, they can't see. You need to see Bob. He won't.
He's sitting right here, but he's being so good right now.
All right. And this is us just for entertainment purposes only. Okay, we're just checking things out. Let's see what the universe wants to tell us. Okay. Ace of Swords, that's action. Hang on. Let's see, because
That symbol following us around everywhere, don't it?
I know, right? But they do. If you pay attention to these
And that's that
things.
Ace of Swords upside down.
Yeah, but we're going to read the card for just what the card is itself. Reverse, like Mocha said, a reverse card means it's usually the negative interpretation. But this time, let's go at it and see what just this card represents for us, okay? And that's just for right now. So it talks about clarity, truth, objectivity, honesty, and justice, which is very funny if you'll pay attention to what we just talked about. I love the cards. Key phrases: cutting through the illusion, realizing the way forward, using logic and facing the facts, establishing what is right and wrong, facing up to reality, mental adroitness. We just talked about all of that, by the way. I think that's really cool. Okay. Now here's my reading story. Are you ready? Okay, and what we're doing is, and I will show you our card for today, is the Ace of Swords. There you go. All right, something needs expressed when you see the Ace of Swords, whether it is an idea, a home truth, a spot of self-honesty, or a need for justice. But whatever it is, you may not recognize it at first. This card also represents facing up to any new challenges with logic and firmness. Believe in yourself. Don't doubt your motivations or intentions. Be ready to leap into action and be objective about your limitations. The Ace of Swords says, face the facts and don't carry bitterness or delusion from the past, because otherwise you won't be able to move forward. How funny this card is. We should have just done the damn card. But it means you need to be honest with yourself as you can be. If you can clear the air, dispense with doubt and confusion, the way will be clear to you. There may be a problem that you have to resolve, and life is never smooth. But now it is time to analyze the situation and to get cracking. If this card appears as a blockage position, you are letting your head totally overrule your heart or gut instincts. Too much analysis is blinding you to the truth of the matter, and you need to engage your feelings in this issue as well as your brain cells. As a future card, the Ace of Swords suggests that there is a challenge coming soon, but out of that challenge, you can make something better for your life. The opportunities coming your way may require more effort on your part, but they will open you to new possibilities and success. I think that's cool.
Wow.
Okay, so it said, okay, we asked the card, tell us what you want us to know. Tell us what we're supposed to do. And all it said was exactly what we talked about for the last hour. Staying focused,
Being
staying
honest,
empowered,
justice.
being honest, justice. The future is going to be fine. We have to keep going. Yeah, great things, y'all. See? And I want you to know when I came in the house, this is that frequency thing. Okay, do you see my face? Okay, when I came in the house, I was in tears. Okay, and then with what was on the TV, I freaked out, so I had my body thing. Now that we've spent time together being calm and focused and doing good things, now my frequency is different. Now I feel better. Okay, now has it changed anything? No, it's still shitty. It's still a process. It's still bad. It's still happening, okay? However, I feel better. I hope you guys feel better. Do something for yourself. Do whatever. Cinnamon roll. Chocolate
what raises
cookie.
your frequency.
Yes, whatever. And the weather has been cold, but not too cold. Take a nice walk. If you can. I mean, I understand if you're disabled and you can't get out, go to the window and open the window. That cold air will come in. And it was chilly today. Like, I kept looking at the number and it was like crazy cold. And I'm like, I'm not that cold. It feels good to me today. Now, I had a coat on, I had a jacket on and heat in the car and stuff like that. But it was good to be out. It was good to be out. Well, I think we did good here today. Do you think we did good here today?
We threw a lot of stuff at you, but make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That way you stay in touch, and that way you can go back and rewatch a lot of this.
And remember, too, sharing it and doing things like that out into the world. It's very important right now, and we're kind of like asking as a favor. We've been asked by the universe to provide support during this time of change. We need to help as many people as possible. So share it with your people, share it with them, tell your mom about it, do whatever. Let it get as far as it can go to even those people in other countries that are having a hard time right now. This isn't just your bedroom problem or your house problem or your street problem or your city problem or your state problem or your country problem. This is a global problem. We're all having it right now. Okay. We'll be okay. I know we will. In the end, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We'll be different. But it'll be good. We needed a change. For this ugly to have survived this long, it needs to go. It needs to go. So namaste, y'all. And stay focused. And we're going to put up a video or two every week. And then Mocha's doing some videos on her days in her day. And I'll do some video in mine, some little short videos for y'all to keep you focused on staying centered during this process. But we'll be here for the next however long it takes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, until next time, guys.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye. Bob.